उमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Lord Kapila, continuing with instructions to his mother. So in these verses we are seeing the glories of devotional service, specifically this verse, the next, and it goes on. How the recommendation is given to perform Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, intense devotional service, without which a living entity cannot overcome the influence of material nature, the modes of material nature. Material nature is very strong. A living entity on his own will never be able to overcome its influence. The only way is to surrender to the Supreme Lord. How to surrender? By performance of intense devotional service, along with viraktya, detachment. Ata eva shanaishchittam prasaktam asatam pathi. Shanaihi chittam. Chittam means, two meanings are given here. One is the mind, another consciousness. The mind and the consciousness should be fixed on Krishna. Here the shloka, it says Shanaihi. Shanaihi means gradually. But if we see the purport, the translation and purport, Srila Prabhupada is stressing on intense, quick, with full, without deviation, undeviated devotional service. Why? Because prasaktam asatam pathi. The mind naturally it flows towards asatam, asat, that which is temporary. Just yesterday we were listening in the lecture, Mahat sevam dvaramahur vimuktes tamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam. So the meaning goes like this: there are two dwaras, two doorways. If you enter one door, it's full of illumination, brightness. If you enter the other door, it is full of darkness. But still, many people are interested to go to the door there is full of darkness, where there is full of darkness. So that's what we see in this material nature. Associating with Mahatmas, yes, it opens the doorway for brightness, light, knowledge, happiness, everything. Association with sense gratification, it opens the door for darkness, painful condition, and all of such things. Shri Krishna Balarama ki jai. Why people are going there? Yes, that is the conditioning, what has happened by coming in contact with material nature. Naturally, our mind flows towards, is attracted towards asat, temporary things. So, bhakti yogena tivrena viraktyacha nayed vasham. Vasha means to take control, to bring under control. How should we bring under control the mind which is naturally going away from Krishna towards sense gratification, towards something which is temporary, towards something which gives ultimately pain to that living entity? Still the mind is going towards that. It has to be brought under control. How it needs to be done? Tivrena bhakti yogena viraktya, by detachment and intense devotional service. Now, if we remember this main instruction from the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna emphasizes on fixing the mind upon Him. Maya sakta mana partha, Mai asakta mana. Another place, Man mana bhava mad bhakto. In other Vedic literatures like Padma Purana, it is said, Smartavyas satatam Vishnor vismartavyo na jatu chit. Always remember Krishna or think of Krishna and never forget Him. So this is said to be the most important. Now, as sadhakas, we are trying to come to this platform. We are trying means what? Still we have not come to this platform. So we should understand there are devotees at various levels in trying to approach this goal or this objective. In fact, the same words, whatever, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. In another part of Bhagavatam, we hear this. Akama Sarvakamova Mokshakama Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajeta Purusham Param. There it is mentioned how whether you are akama, without desires, or sakama, sarvakama, with all kinds of material desires, or mokshakama, desiring for liberation, in whatever condition you worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that itself shows how there are people who are akama, there are people who are sarvakama, there are people who are mokshakama. We should accept this. But for all of them, some general instructions are given. Yes, do this, you will reach your goal. So we need to accept this. Just like in the outside world, there are many people who don't know who is Krishna, what is spiritual life, what is spirit soul. They don't know at all. Some people, they have heard about it, but no proper conviction. They are not convinced with it, or just not interested in it. Some people, they are convinced fully, but unable to put into practice. Theoretically, everything they know, big jnanis. But when it comes to their action, they are doing something else, involved in some materialistic activities, but they are aware of it. And then comes people who are actually involved in worshipping the Supreme Lord. In that also, people who are worshipping, there are majority of the people who are worshipping devatas, many other things, just for their sense gratification. And maybe at next level comes people who worship the Supreme Lord but with desires, as we see in this verse, sarva kamova. And then to raise to the level of worshipping the Supreme Lord without any material desire, just for His pleasure, His satisfaction. So this is something high level, of course, which devotees are aiming towards, but everyone as of now are not in this platform. So what needs to be done? So we need to follow the instructions of the spiritual master and try gradually to come to this platform. So here in this purport, serious devotional service, how it can be performed. So if we make a thorough reading here, then only we'll be able to identify it. What actually is Prabhupada expecting from us? Just like in the case of Arjuna, we hear what was expected by Krishna when he was telling the Bhagavad Gita, the teachings to him. Arjuna, you fight. Already if you don't fight also, already nimitta, whatever, I have killed all these people. Just nimitta bhava savyasachi. Nimitta, instrument in my hand, and just go ahead fighting. So likewise, there is some specific instruction given. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada says that as soon as one engages in such serious devotional service of the Lord, so in such serious devotional service, this comes in the second paragraph of the purport, wherein Prabhupada is telling, as soon as one engages in such serious devotional service. So that means in the first paragraph, Prabhupada has already explained what is that serious devotional service. So we are seeing here, if at all we want to control our mind, tivrena bhakti yogena, seriously we should be involved in devotional service. So what is that serious devotional service? What Prabhupada is speaking here. So one sentence before, the paragraph before, if we see, Prabhupada is telling, one must be firmly convinced of these three principles. One should always think that Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the enjoyer, and Krishna is the friend. Not only should he understand these principles himself, but he should try to convince others and propagate Krishna consciousness. So this is what Prabhupada is referring to. And then next paragraph sentence he says, as soon as one engages in such serious devotional service. So this is that serious devotional service, what is expected out of us. What is that? The same shloka from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna, he is the proprietor. Krishna is the best friend. First thing is, we should be convinced about this. What is the second thing? What is the second thing? Put into? How to put into practice? No, if at all you want to perform serious devotional service, two things are told. One is, first, individually you be convinced with this. Krishna is a proprietor, enjoyer, and he is a friend. One more thing, try to convince others. Yes. Try to convince others and propagate Krishna consciousness. That's why, as I told you, at different levels, different people will be there. Somehow or the other, we should help them. At least we devotees, theoretically at least, we have heard this sufficiently, this verse, Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhrodam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is all. Now, put into practice and convince others. So, now when we come to the point of like putting it into practice, one thing we should remember, Krishna and Prabhupada, they are very merciful, very accommodative. However fallen we are, they are ready to lift us up. Whatever abominable condition we may come from, still they have got the potency to completely purify us. And as sadhakas we are trying, sometimes there may be fall down, sometimes we may deviate from this path of pure devotional service or serious devotional service. Still again get back, again try. Okay, you are unable to do at this level, okay, maybe there is some another level at which you can perform devotional service. So we see that in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mayi eva mana adatsva, Mayi buddhim niveshaya, Mayi eva, fix your mind, or Mayi eva mana adatsva, your mind should be fixed upon me only. Engage your intelligence on me only. But the next verse, what is that? Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishas mayeva ata urdvam na samshayaha ata chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi stiram. If you are unable to do this, then abhyasa yogena tato. Practice abhyasa yoga, do sadhana bhakti. Gradually try to come to this level. Abhyasepi asamarthosi. Even for sadhana bhakti, all ups and downs are there. Mat karma paramo bhava. Perform my work for me. Do Krishna karma. By doing this gradually, we elevate ourselves. So when we speak to this to say like for preaching purpose, because one thing we need to be convinced ourselves, and Prabhupada says we need to convince others and preach Krishna consciousness to others. So for them, so many other like say we give options how they can be engaged in Krishna's service. So this is also very important. Oh, you are not thinking about Krishna, you are not doing sadhana bhakti, chanting 16 rounds, you are not rendering service in the temple, then get lost. No, not in this way. There are many other ways through which we can engage people, help them gradually elevate. So here, in the purport of this verse, on the verse 10 of chapter 12, Abhyasepi asamartosi mat karma paramo bhava madartam api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. If you do like this, kurvan siddhim avapsyasi, gradually you will elevate to the next level. So there in the purport Prabhupada says, one who is not able to even practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master, can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. So the purport goes on, many things Prabhupada explains. Again at the end, it is said, if one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity and one should be interested in such activities. So there are various fields of activities in Krishna consciousness. So wherever a person suits, we need to accommodate him. If one cannot sacrifice the result of such activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. If he is unable to offer his entire activity, at least some percentage he can offer his result to Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love of God, whereupon one becomes perfect. See, from that level also, gradually a living entity can elevate himself to higher state of love of Godhead, whereupon one becomes perfect. So this is how, see, to reach love of Godhead, so many stages are there, but still, so as devotees, maybe missionaries, at one level we are in, maybe many devotees, congregation devotees, folk devotees, or our donors, general public who come to temple, various people, various devotees at different levels they will be practicing. Somehow or the other, elevate them to the next level, gradually to come to the level of love of Godhead or Krishna Prema. So again, if you get back and try to understand this, Krishna is a supreme proprietor, Krishna is a supreme enjoyer, Krishna is a supreme friend. Usually what happens, a living entity in the material world, in the conditioned state, he thinks he is the enjoyer, he is the proprietor, and he is the supreme friend of all. Generally, in the in mode of ignorance and passion, their concept is this much only: I am the enjoyer, I am the supreme enjoyer. Everyone, everything, whatever I see, are meant for my enjoyment. This is how material nature makes him think. Being influenced by Rajoguna and Tamoguna, this is how he thinks. I am the lord of whatever I survey. Whatever comes in front of me, whatever I have in my possession, everything, yes, it belongs to me. I am the proprietor. I invent something, I discover something, I am its proprietor. We claim proprietorship over that. Or something we have worked hard and we have got some result, and I am the proprietor of this. Forgetting so many other reasons behind it, we start claiming proprietorship over it. And then if at all a person is little sattva guna, he starts thinking, oh, now I need to help others. I am the supreme friend, I am the benefactor, I'll help others. And he involves in what all activities he involves in the purport Prabhupada mentions. Altruism, philanthropy, and when one thinks that he is the best friend to his countrymen, to society or to humanity, and he engages in various nationalistic, philanthropic and altruistic activities, all that is just so much concentration on sense gratification. These are nothing focusing on his own sense gratification. And one more point Prabhupada makes here. The so-called national leader or humanist does not serve everyone. He serves his senses only. That is a fact. See, when we find a person who is completely involved in philanthropy, altruistic, means helping others through varieties of ways, or doing service to nation, nationalistic ideas he wants to serve his nation. Prabhupada says here, he serves his senses only. So, to understand this, again we have to get back to the example of various examples which Srila Prabhupada gives. One example is that of, like, there is a gang of thieves. They have stolen some money from the bank. They run far away to the forest and incognito somewhere they sit and let us share this property very equally in a rightful way. And there one leader will be there. I'll take care of all of you equally. I will divide. He'll take the leadership there. But it's all stolen money. One or the other day, they'll be caught by the police and they'll be punished. So this is one example. Another example, Udarendriya, the stomach. Whatever food, ultimately we need to put it in the stomach, and nourishment will be supplied throughout the body. If each and every senses start thinking, I am the proprietor, if the hand starts thinking, I have worked so hard, so something has come to me, so I will enjoy it. With great effort, some gulab jamun I have prepared, so I will not put it into the mouth, I will enjoy it myself. If the hand tries for that, it will not happen. It cannot enjoy. On the other hand, it will suffer. No nourishment to the mouth, to the stomach. Over a period of time, hand will become very weak. So, we need to understand Krishna is the ultimate proprietor. He is the ultimate enjoyer. He is the ultimate friend of all living entities. If at all we want to, some friendship we want to make with other living entities, it is possible by helping them connect with Krishna. Then we will be true friend. Individually we start claiming friendship for ourselves or proprietorship for ourselves, then we are doing disservice. So as devotees we should be convinced with this fact and then convince others and propagate Krishna consciousness. This is what is serious devotional service which we can perform in our sadhana stage. So we'll conclude with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,